Well, hi guys. We've got the AU Fairlane front end. Got panels, bonnet, all the garnish for the bonnet, the grille, headlights, and bumper. But Edward's just spotted this. What is it? GT3?
Yeah.
Nice. That is nice. Anyway, so we're at Gundagai. And no dog on the tucker box. We're at McDonald's, not out of town. We're right just off the expressway, and gonna have a bite to eat and do another 7 hours home. So we'll see you when we get home. That's nice. Well, as you can see, we're sanding those panels. These are the Fairlane guards. Just getting the clear coat off, really. Just making it a bit rough so that we can put a colour over the top. I'm not taking it back to bare metal. We're not going to put an undercoat on it. We're just going to give this a go. This is the first attempt we had at spray painting, so we'll give this a go, see how it comes out. Righto, they're both sort of sanded back with just the worst of it taken off. This one's got some creases in it, which we're not going to do anything with. We'll wipe it down and, I don't know, we'll experiment with some paint, I suppose. Righto, we'll give it a shot and see if we can get some colour, see how that goes. Oh, yeah. Nothing coming out. Righto, give it a go. Alright, we'll keep going. At least there's colour coming out. Well, I don't know if you can see the colour, but it's not too bad. I mean, it's not the best paint job. These panels are second hand and we just gave them a quick rub over, as you saw, but I think that will colour match to the AU pretty well. Gold paint. So that front end of the Fairlane, you can see bits of it here that we've got. We're having a bit of a play with painting it. Not great painters. I'm going to have a crack at it now. This bit's a bit rough, I had to sand under it. It had scuff marks everywhere. I did put a bit of undercoat on it to try and patch it. No one will see that bit. I had to repair this bit over here with araldite. That might need a bit more fixing up later. Anyway, it's better than it was. Right, I don't know if this is part of the painting video or the possible engine rebuild video, but if you've been following, we bought that AU rack to get that motor to go into this AU. At the same time, I'm doing a whole heap of painting work on this. You can hear the compressor running in the background. At this stage, that's the engine out of that car. That is the engine out of the red AU over the back. However, that's Edwards, that's the original induction system. So yesterday, I pulled all the induction off that, swapped it over to here. Why? Because when this one was taken out, all the, out of the red one, basically all the fuel lines and everything was cut. So we're getting all the accessories off the good, or the old motor, which are the accessories are good, onto this good block. So we're in the process of doing that. Then Edward decided, wouldn't it be good if while we're painting the car, we painted the rocker cover. So I've just taken the rocker cover off the original motor, just so we're using the spare one. So I've taken that off and I've given it a coat of colour. So let's just go and have a look at that. Well, there it is. That's the rocker cover. I've painted the bolts too. I don't know whether Edward wants colour-coded bolts. If he doesn't, we can use the old bolts, but I think they'll look good. So that's in the same Falcon colour. Now, something's going wrong there. I'm going to have to try and tidy that up. I think it's the paint's reacting with the primer. I'll let that dry. Maybe have to give it a tidy up and then I'll hit it again. But I think the colour generally is okay. Righto, I've just hit that with some wet and dry. It's just 600, so it's not the finest of wet and dry, and I've just taken that roughness off. Probably just gone a little bit tight there, and I've taken a bit of the colour off, I think, there on that edge. But that crinkle coat feeling that I had with the clear coat on, with the polishing or with the sanding, the wet and dry, has brought that back to a nice, relatively nice shine. It's probably a little bit dull, but it's not as dull as it was. I'm going to get the sander, actually I'll get the polisher onto it and see how that comes up. But as far as colour match goes, what's the best way to do this? Oops. So imagine that in the engine bay. Looks good. I just can't do it one-handed and video at the same time. A little bit of a glitch there. I think I'll sand that back, make that a bit sharper, but I'm going to keep going with the polish at the moment, just see what I can do, make this look good. It's come up all right, actually. All right, this is the first start. We've just connected everything back up. We did have a day or two off while we fixed a few electrical gremlins. Checked it for oil. It's leaking a bit of oil out of the gearbox, but we'll tidy that up. You ready to start it? Yep. Righto, off you go. Nothing? All right, okay. I should explain what's going on here. Bailey is under the car, Edward's trying to start it, and Deegan's keeping an eye on proceedings. Because it's an automatic, it has a automatic cutout, so it'll only start in neutral and park. We're trying to bypass that for the new manual gearbox.
Are these alligator clips designed to join current?
They should be. Do you want some thicker wire? Are they a bit...
No, I just need... I feel like they're not... Like, they don't actually...
I use them for everything. All the time.
What the... Hold on. We'll try different combos here. Hold on. couple of different orders this can go in. I thought I looked at it and I thought I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing, but I could be wrong here.
We haven't blown a fuse again, have we? No.
Yeah, do that thing where you turn the key. No. No, the other way. The other way. Give me that, babe. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. Give her a flick.
That's good. Laughing. Good work. Well guys, if you've been following along, you'll notice that in between some of the spray painting I've been doing, Edward's been doing a bit of work on the motor and he's just converted it to manual. As I said before in some of the videos, we haven't got much video of that, but I'm going to start sanding some of this back. I'm not going to worry about the front panels because I've already got the Fairlane front end sanded back and sprayed, but I am going to start just rubbing this back. And who knows, we might even get a coat of paint on this in the next day or two and just see what it comes up like. Anyway, I'll give this a run and see how my sanding skills stack up. Righto, colours on the panels, and I'm about to hit it with a little bit of clear coat. So here goes. I'm trying to do it one-handed, of course. Good shake. Right, not the best paint technique one-handed. I might turn the camera off and I'll do it properly a bit and we'll see how it comes up. Righto, that looks a bit patchy to me. Maybe it'll dry better. Probably needs a sand too. It feels very rough to the touch. I guess that's what you do with a clear coat. You give it a sand off with a wet and dry. I'll try 600 and see if it smooths it out and buffs it up a bit. Anyway, I'll keep experimenting. So I think this AU is now ready for paint for the rest of it. I've just rubbed it back. You can see it's just scuffed up and roughened up. I'm hoping that's enough for the paint to take. Got the front guards off. It's blowing a gale, so I'm going to put it here into the shed. But Edward wants to have a go at the painting and he's at work, so we're going to get this all set up. I'll tape it off. When he gets home, we can lay the paint on. Righto, ready for paint. As I said, we've never done this before, so we're going to be experimenting. Rather not do it at night time, but other pressures dictate that that's what we're doing. So we'll show you what it looks like as we go. Might do a time lapse as we paint. That's it. Yep. Righto, keep moving down. I'll move the seat for you in a minute. Righto, it's 24 hours after spraying. It did come out a little bit dry out of the gun and we had some rough patches, so we've just spent a couple of hours just wet and dry sanding the paint back. It's at least smooth to the touch, but we don't want to go too smooth because we still want some sort of surface for the clear coat to bind to. It's a bit damp at the moment and it looks a little bit patchy, but I think when it dries, it'll be okay. Anyway, we'll wait till tomorrow, have a look at it in the daylight, and then it might get a clear coat tomorrow night. Problem with doing it at night time, of course, is we're working in the day, so it's the only time we've got available. We were pretty lucky. Most of the bugs congregated to the lights and didn't land in the paint, which was good for us. Anyway, we'll see what it looks like tomorrow and then possibly give it a coat of clear if it's in condition. There might be a few little touch-up bits we've got to do. We've got a rattle can that we might do some touch-ups if it's a bit patchy or not quite right. There's a little chip somewhere and there's a couple of little scratches. You probably won't see them. We'll get them maybe with the rattle can. That might show how this has come up better. As I say, it looks a bit patchy, but that's, I think, a little bit of dampness from where we're just doing some wet and dry. Fairlane guards are going back on. This has had a final clear coat this afternoon, but we haven't really wet and dried anything other than the bonnet last night. So we'll do some wet and dry tomorrow. We just want to get these guards back. Right, we have to start fitting the new Fairlane headlights. The AU sedan has these 3-prong, which has a combined high and low beam in the outer light, and on the inner light has that, which is, I think, it's a 2-prong. Yeah, so that's got 2 wires and 2 prongs in the bulb. That's got 3 wires and 3 prongs. So that's your multiple dual purpose high-low. That's got just a high beam. Now the actual headlight units that we've got for the Fairlane have a different bulb size to begin with. So on the Fairlane headlight units, they have a H7 bulb. The H7 bulb's smaller, so the one that came out of the Falcon headlight won't fit. Now we've got H7 bulbs, but they only have 2 prongs. So I think one will be set up as normal normal everyday low beam, and the other one will be set up to come on as high beam. And you can see here, each one's got 2 connectors, two connectors. That's all wired into a harness that has that plug on the end. So what we need to do is we can simply put the two H7 bulbs in there and use the wiring that's on this harness at that end to connect. But we have to get that connector from that and split it into something that will connect to that one and something that will connect to that one. So we need to do some cutting on both the plugs, cut all those plugs off, cut that plug off. I need to then do some testing, and then we need to rewire that up. So that's going to be our little job for the next 30 or 40 minutes. I'll bring you in as we start to work things out. Righto, this is the harness with the end cut off, and we've just used my multimeter to determine which wires are which going to this part of the harness. So this red and this black are the power and the earth for the high beam side. This black and the blue and the green one, I think it was, green and browny looking colour, reddy colour, is the one for the low beam side, and the other ones I think are the blinkers, which we won't need because the blinker harness on the Falcon's separate, and all we need to do is disconnect this and plug the blinker into there. So what I would like to do is, I reckon we put a bulb in there, Edward, and then we connect this to the cut wires on that end just to do a test to make sure we've got them right. So all those plugs are now cut off. We've worked out that's the parking light, low beam, high beam. Did I get that? Other way around. High beam, low beam. And we've cut this loom here with the plug, and we've got the relevant connectors. Now they're just normal spade connectors. We'll have to isolate these with a bit of electrical tape so we don't short out, but that's the easiest way we can do to get that to work and test it at the same time, so we didn't have to do anything permanent, but we can pull it apart. That all works. Now you'll see that little bar there, there's a couple of locating tabs that hold these headlights in. When we bought these, the other one didn't have that locating tab, so we're going to cut one off, the old headlight from the Falcon, and somehow fit it onto here. We're going to have a go at that now. The other ones are on the top, and I think we're good there. So there's one there, one there, one there, and then there's another one that comes here. So there's 4 on each headlight. But this one here is going to be a problem if we can't get it to connect up. So we'll get the other headlight and we'll see if we can connect that up now. Fairlane headlight on the top, Falcon on the bottom. You can see that locating tab there is on the Falcon, missing from the Fairlane. We're going to have a go at cutting this one off here, attaching it to where it's meant to go here, and we've got a plastic welder, and we're going to try and get enough between here and the tab to hold it. Might need a bit of araldite after that, but I think the plastic welding kit might do the trick, so we're going to have a go. Put right down the bottom. Put right down the bottom, right down the bottom. Because you can't, that's the problem, you can't, it'll be too short if you don't get it exactly length. Good. Maybe just run the grinder over the
file it down.
Yep. So that's the piece we've just cut off, the good one. This is the headlight we want to fix. That's the little plastic. Can you focus on that? There we go. Put it down there. So that's the piece we want. The idea is, I think if we put it in there, put it in there like that, it will join that piece to that piece. I'll get my fat fingers out of the way. It will work. So let's get that set up. So that's the device. The instructions are English converted from Chinese. So we think we're doing it right, but there's a lot of question about that. So press the trigger. You have to press the trigger first, Edward. No, take it off. Press the trigger, heat it up, and then give it a few seconds, and then once it's heated, now try and put it into place. That's it. Now release. And will that come out? Maybe you've got to cut those things off. That's weird.
Would you want to go grab the snips?
Surely you shouldn't have to do this. It feels like it's... Hang on, you're pulling it on. Can you reach it from there? That's not right. You shouldn't have to. I can understand trimming it up, but surely that piece comes off. There you go. Yeah. Right. We'll put another one on. I'll trim that up. Obviously, you need a few of these. Oh man, these are useless. They're Chinese too, are they? I think we'll get the angle grinder just to smooth them out. Okay, get another one and we'll give it a few goes. So there's 5 in there and probably not too bad. It's holding it. I'll snip all those off and clean them up. It's probably not a bad little product. Edward's come up with another idea just from the back because we've only done one side. He's just going to get his soldering iron. Once he gets rid of the solder, just heat that plastic up.
That'll probably help.
Huh?
No, that solder there will probably help join it anyway.
I doubt it. Seriously, how cheeky is that magpie? Right, how did that work?
Back. I don't know, it melted it, see if it melts together and joins.
Don't worry too much because those metal things are holding it on that side. I just need to...
Yeah, I reckon we need to join the plastic on the seal.
Let me snip them off and we can see what the finished product looks like. So they're all wired in, and even though we didn't have all the connect tabs, we've been able to, that's the one we repaired, you can see over there. So let's just go run through that. So what do you got? Parking, headlight, high beam, all working. I'll give those headlights a bit of a rub over with some wet and dry too and clean them up. But headlights are in, guards are on and reasonably well aligned. That one's, the gap's not too bad. I need to do some more wet and dry sanding, or wet sanding. This side's about the same too. Yeah, the Fairlane trim, the moulding on the side is a different profile to the Falcon one, but hey, that's what it is. Right, what do you want to do now? Get that bumper bar on?
Align the headlights. So just looking there, one's here, one's up here.
Right, we'll do that. Now this headlight's always going to be a bit wacky because that guard was dented, but okay, let's get them aligned. Making a bit of progress. We just wheeled it out of the garage. The front guards are lighter because they're over white. We realised they were originally white. We sprayed them. The rest of the car was body colour. Having said that, it's a little bit dark and I'll give it a polish tomorrow. But we're going to get this bumper and bonnet on now. Just getting the last of the bumper bar on. Bonnet's on. Flat black paint job under the bonnet.
Yeah, maybe 12 mil.
12?
Yeah.
Alright. So nighttime test. That's parking.
No.
That's parkers. Headlights. And high beam. High beam aren't real bright, are they?
Oh.
Are they just 55 watt ones?
Exact same as we've got for low beam. Do the red coast said that that's the right one.
For high beam?
Yep.
I would have thought 70 watt or something might have been the go, but it might be the way it's projected. Anyway.
I said I need headlights for AU, and you said manual order.
Manual auto headlights. Well, maybe you've got the auto ones and now you've got the manual gearbox in. It's not as bright.
No, I'm saying that.
Well, the work continues on the car, guys. We've still got black steel wheels on the Fairlane fronted AU. However, with the wreck here, we've identified, we've got everything off that, but we've actually picked up some new wheels. I'll show you those in a minute. We've now got some headers. So the next little project on this AU to bring it up to scratch is headers, full exhaust. You can see there's a couple of little hot dog type resonator things there. And I think it's a 2.5 inch exhaust out the end. So we'll tidy that up today. Probably fit it as well. And then come up here. This one's ready to go to the wreckers. And I think these are XR6 wheels. We've got 4 of them. Tyres are shot, so we're getting new tyres on those. Bit of gravel rash. I'm going to get the wet and dry onto that. Just try and smooth them out. Just make them look a little bit more presentable. And if I can get those 2 jobs done today, a bit of paint on those headers will be sweet. Notice Edward's gone back to the standard lights on the AU. I don't mind them, I do like those clear lenses, but he likes these. So it's starting to look alright. Starting to get it looking good. Just getting the surface rust off these. I don't think there's much here, to be honest with you, but make it a little bit smoother when the paint goes on. A bit of a mess down here. I'll keep going with that. You don't need to see me do all that. And we'll probably get some black paint on this one. Well, I've been working on this one for, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes. I'm taking these big gouges out just with sandpaper at the moment. I was going to get the Dremel onto it, but I think the sandpaper will probably do it. Because they're a silvery colour, it is taking the paint off, but because it's silver, it's somewhat not as noticeable. I can probably put a coat of paint on them when I'm finished, but I'm just going to get them smooth first and see how they come up. Righto, not perfect, but certainly, excuse me, we'll edit that bit. Righto, not perfect, but better than it was. I can rub my finger in there now, and although I can feel a few little, and you can see a few little deep grooves, it's certainly smoother. I am just amazed at the lack of spatial awareness someone has to smash wheels against a curb, and either to do it multiple times or to have done it once and just keep driving so that the entire rim is damaged. This one is one I haven't touched yet, but every portion of that rim has been run up against the curb. I just can't understand it. It's not like I'm continually smashing my wheels into curbs because I have got no idea where they are. So some people's spatial awareness, well, we've all known drivers like that, don't we? Right, I think this one's good. I'm going to do, well, good enough probably to get a good tyre on it. I can probably keep working on it, and I might get a bit of paint on it later, but it's good enough to go in the car. Work on this one. The other two are off getting tyres on them at the moment. We're doing a bit of a swap over later in the day, only because we couldn't get all the tyres in the vehicle that we're transporting them in. So swap over later, and hopefully we'll see these on the AU very soon. Well, they both look pretty good. Up close you can still see a little bit of dullness where I've taken the clear coat off, and probably a bit of paint back to the alloy, but we'll tidy them up as we go. But certainly most of the gutter ash, the big deep cuts are still there, but most of the gutter ash is out of them. So yeah, good job on that. Move on to the next job. Extreme heat. So these are the headers. It's 40 degrees, so that's extreme enough. Stinging hot day. That looks good. Might have to think twice about putting your heat shield back on, because you won't see them with the heat shield on.
No, you see them a little bit.
Right, we'll keep doing this and we'll have a look when they're finished. That's the first coat. We'll come back in a minute with a bit more on it, but it's looking good.
Oh, I hate how these things, they're so rigid.
Right. The old lump of cast iron is out. Alright, so what do you want to do? Do you want to get the rest of the exhaust out first, or put the headers in and progressively?
The headers won't go in with the cat there.
Right, okay. Well, that's just on a hanger, isn't it, the back bit?
Yep.
Okay, well, we might pop that off. Probably lifting the car though, is it? It's just lifting the diff. Hang on, because I just need more height to get that twisted over it, and I can't get this bit any lower. I'll try another way. Take that off. You have to take that throttle cable off, or at least loosen those two bolts, maybe just so you can lift it higher. That's got it. Now we've just got those bolts in at the bottom so they can hang on that. Perfect. Nice.
Nearly perfect.
Alright.
There we go.
So they're just sitting on top of those bolts?
Yep.
That's beautiful how that works. Righto, we'll get some bolts in the top, and we'll nip that up, and then we'll go back underneath and get the rest of it in. Good. That look all right?
Mm.
Yeah, righto. Alright, heat shield on. Just check those other two though. They might need a little bit more tightening up. They might need a longer extension. Shorter extension. Hey?
No, I won't go with the extension.
Alright, we'll get them finished. And then we'll move to the O2 sensor, which needs to come back down onto the top of there. And then lifting all this back into place. That's weird not having a hanger. I think we'll have to just hanger at the front, hanger at the back. O2 sensor plug straight in. Look at that. It is the right thread, isn't it?
You think so? They are a pain in the neck, these things, though.
Mm. A bit hard to see, but it's all in place. I'm not going to get under. Oh, maybe I will. There you go. Happy with that?
Yeah.
Alright.